तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Today we shall consider some special properties of relations. Let us take binary relation. Let R be a binary relation on A, that is A cross A, the domain and the codomain are A. Then R is reflexive if R is reflexive if X is related to X for all X belonging to A. R is irreflexive if X is not related to X for every X in A. R is symmetric if X related to Y implies Y related to X for every X Y belonging to A. R is antisymmetric if X related to Y and Y related to X together imply X is equal to Y for every X belonging to A. R is transitive if X related to Y, Y related to X, Z together imply X related to Z for every X, Y, Z belonging to A. R is asymmetric if X related to Y implies Y not related to X. So, we study 6 properties. What are the 6 properties? I will again repeat them. Reflexive means for all X, X will be related to X. Irreflexive means for no X, X will be related to X. For no X, X will be related to X. And symmetric means X is related to Y means Y will be related to X. Antisymmetric means if X is related to Y and Y related to X, if both these hold, that means X is equal to Y. Transitive would mean X is related to Y and Y related to Z means X will be related to Z. Asymmetric would mean if X is related to Y implies Y not related to X. In the case of graphs, reflexive means when you represent a binary relation as a directed graph, reflexive means there will be a self loop on every node. Irreflexive means there will not be a self loop on any node. No node should contain a self loop. Symmetric would mean between any two nodes there can, if there is no arc, that is okay, but if there is an arc like this in one direction, there should be also an arc in the other direction. No arcs between them is also okay. Antisymmetric is if there are two nodes, there are no arcs between them, it is okay, but if there is an arc like this, you should not have an arc like this. Asymmetric means if you have an arc like this, you should not have an arc like this. Not only that, antisymmetric you can have self loops, but asymmetric you should not have self loops. Transitive would mean if there is an arc between two nodes x and y, and there is an arc between y and z, that is x is related to y and y is related to z, then there will be a arc between x and z. X should be related to x. This is transitive. Now, let us take some examples and see whether they are symmetric, reflexive, etc. First take, for example we shall consider, take the set of natural numbers and the equality relation on them. Then x is related to x for every x in n. Take the set of natural numbers or non-negative integers, and the equality relation, if you take any x will be related to x, that is a reflexive relation. It is also a symmetric relation because you do not have any arcs between any two. X related to y means x and y should be the same. You cannot have for different x, y an arc belonging to them. It will not be irreflexive. And less than relation if you take, that is not a symmetric relation. A less than B means B will not be less than A. So, that is not an example of a symmetric relation. But A less than B means B will not be less than A. So, it is an example of an antisymmetric relation. And A less than or equal to B is also an example of an antisymmetric relation. And less than is also a transitive relation because A less than B and B less than C means A will be less than C. So, that is an example of a transitive relation. Let us consider some relations and see what are they, what properties they have. Take the equality relation. Now, I will not take many elements, just 3 elements we will take. The equality relation, if you have 3 elements say A, B, C, the equality relation on A, B, C will be represented like this. What are the properties it satisfies? Let me write down all the properties. Reflexive, irreflexive, symmetric, antisymmetric, asymmetric, transitive. Of which how many are satisfied? A relation, there are only 3 elements here A, B, C. What are the properties this relation has? Because there is a loop at every node, it is reflexive and it is not irreflexive. Okay. As we will slightly deviate. Suppose I have something like this A, B, C, and I have self loop here, but not self loop here. What about this relation? Is it reflexive? This is not reflexive because you are not having a self loop at every node. It is not irreflexive because irreflexive means you should not have self loop at any node, but here at A you are having a self loop. So, this is not irreflexive also. So, a relation can be neither reflexive nor irreflexive. It can be neither of them. So, that is possible. Is it a symmetric relation? If A is related to B and B is, then B should be related to A. That is symmetric definition. But if there are no arcs between any 2 nodes, that is okay. Still it will be a symmetric relation. If A is related to B then B should be related to A. If A is not related to B for different A's, that is okay. So, this is a symmetric. Now, is it antisymmetric? If A is related to B and B is related to A, then A is equal to B. Is you are having self loop. If A is related to A and so on. That is, you should not have something like this in the antisymmetric relation. If there are no arcs, that is okay. So, it is antisymmetric also. And is it asymmetric? Asymmetric, if A is related to B, B should not be related to A, that is, you should not have self loop anywhere. So, it is not asymmetric. Is it transitive? What is the condition for transitivity? If A is related to B and B is related to C, then A should be related to C. Here you have only self loops, no other nodes are related. So, it is transitive also. So, equality relation is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, that you must remember. This is just for the 3 elements we have drawn, for simplicity's sake. You can define for non-negative integers and so on. Consider some more examples. Take the universal relation on 3 elements. Again, for convenience sake, just taking 3 elements, so you could give examples where you have, this is the universal relation. On 3 elements. What can you say about this relation? Is it reflexive? You are having self loop at every node, so it is reflexive. Is it irreflexive? No, because irreflexive means you should not have self loop at any node. Is it symmetric? Whenever there is an arc from one node to another, there should be a reverse arc, so it is symmetric. Is it antisymmetric? Antisymmetric means if you have, you should not have something like this between 2 different nodes. If you have x related to y and y related to x, then x should be equal to y. So, it is not antisymmetric. Is it asymmetric? No, because asymmetric you cannot have, you should not have like this, nor you can have self loops. So, it is not asymmetric. Is it transitive? Whenever you have A related to B and B related to C, you are having A related to C and so on. So, it is transitive. So, this is about the universal relation on 3 elements. Let us take some more examples. Look at this, A, B, C. You have this relation. Is it a reflexive relation? A reflexive relation should have self loop at every node. Here you are having only at this node, you are not having self loops here. So, it is not reflexive. Is it irreflexive? Irreflexive means you should not have self loop at any node. Here you are having self loop at this node, so it is not irreflexive. So, I told you a relation can be neither reflexive nor irreflexive. This is an example of that. Is it symmetric? Either there are no arcs between 2 nodes, or if there is an arc directed in one way, there should be an arc directed in the reverse direction. So, it is symmetric. Is it antisymmetric? No, because if B is related to C and C is related to B, that should imply B is equal to C. Here B and C are different. So, it is not antisymmetric. It is not asymmetric, because if A is related to B, B should not be related to A. So, it is not asymmetric. Is it transitive? It is not transitive also, because B is related to C, C is related to B. That means combining these two, you should have a self loop at this node if it is transitive. but you are not having a self loop at that node. So, it is not transitive also. So, this is an example which is symmetric, but none of the other properties hold. Look at the empty relation, no arcs, no relation, no ordered pairs. Is it reflexive? It is not, because reflexive means you should have self arc. So, it is not reflexive. Is it irreflexive? Yes, it is irreflexive, because you are not having self loop at any node. Is it symmetric? Symmetric means either you should have both the arcs between two nodes or no arcs. So, if x is related to y and y is related, if x is related to y, then y should be related to x, but x is not even related to y, that is okay, it is symmetric. Similarly, is it antisymmetric? If x is related to y and y is related to x, it should imply x is equal to y, but no arcs between two elements is also okay, it is antisymmetric. Similarly, if x is related to y, y should not be related to x, but there is no such thing also, it is asymmetric, and it is transitive also, because if x is related to y and y related to z, x should be related to x, no arcs between any of them. So, it will be transitive. All these conditions are okay. It is an empty relation. Take some more example, one more example we shall take. Consider this A, B, C, consider this. What can you say about this? Is it a reflexive relation? No self loops, so it is not reflexive. Is it irreflexive? There is no self loop at any node, so it is irreflexive. Is it symmetric? In symmetric means A related to B would imply B related to A, that is not satisfied, this is not symmetric. Is it antisymmetric? If A is related to B and B related to A together imply A is equal to B. Either you should have one arc, it is antisymmetric, because you are having only one arc, the other way around it is not there. So, it is antisymmetric. Is it asymmetric? Yes, A is related to B, but B is not related to A. So, it is asymmetric also. Is it transitive? See, if A is related to B and B is related to C, you should have an arc from A to C, that is not there. So, this is not transitive. So, the properties of this relation is like this. Now, what about the less than relation on this non-negative integers, the less than, A is less than B if A is less than B, where A and B are non-negative integers. What can you say about this relationship? Is it reflexive? A is less than A is not correct, so it is not reflexive. Is it irreflexive? Yes, A is not related to A for any A, so it is irreflexive. Is it symmetric? If it is symmetric, A less than B would imply B less than A, that is not there, so it is not symmetric. Is it antisymmetric? Yes, it is antisymmetric. A less than B and B less than A, that is not at all true. So, this is antisymmetric. A less than B means B is not less than A, so it is asymmetric also. Is it transitive? If A is less than B and B is less than C, A will be less than C, so it is transitive. So, these properties hold for less than relation. Let us consider less than or equal to relation. Instead of less than, you consider less than or equal to relation on the set of non-negative integers. A less than or equal to B. Then is A less than or equal to A? Yes, A is equal to A. So, A is less than or equal to A. So, it is reflexive. It is not irreflexive. If A is less than or equal to B, we will see 4 and 6 take, then 4 is less than or equal to 6. Can you say 6 less than or equal to 4? You cannot say, right. So, this is not symmetric. Is it antisymmetric? What can you say about this? You will not have like this, but you can have self loops. So, it is antisymmetric. Is it asymmetric? Asymmetric means you should not have self loops also. 4 less than or equal to 4 will hold, but then if A is related to B, B should not be related to A. So, asymmetric is not there. The difference between antisymmetric and asymmetric is antisymmetric you can have self loops, asymmetric you cannot have self loops. Transitive, if A is less than or equal to B and B is less than or equal to C, will A be less than or equal to C? Yes, isn't it? 4 less than or equal to 6 or 6 less than or equal to 6, 4 will be less than or equal to 6. It is transitive property will hold. So, it will be reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive. So, these are some properties of relations, and they are used in many places. Sometimes you may want to have a relation which has got a special features. You may want a transitive relation to start with, and you may want a symmetric relation to start with, and so on. So, these properties play important role in several fields. Then we shall later define what is meant by reflexive closure, transitive closure, important role in many fields. We will see that later. Now, let us next consider composition of relations. What do you mean by the composition of relation? Let R1 be a relation from A to B and R2 be a relation from B to C. The composite relation A to C denoted by R1 dot R2 or R1 R2 is defined as follows. R1 R2 is AC, where A belongs to A and C belongs to C, and there exists B. B belongs to B such that AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2. Note that if R1 and R2 are relations from A to B and from C to D, then R1 R2 is not defined unless B is equal to C. So, what do you mean by composition of relation? Now, R1 is a relation from A to B. There are two sets A, B, some elements are there, some elements are there. So, R1 represents some arcs like this. It is ordered pair where the first element belongs to A, second element belongs to B, something like this. R2 is a relation from the set B to a set C, something like this. So, this represents ordered pairs B C, where B belongs to B and C belongs to C. Then how do you define the composite relation R1 R2? If you have an arc from here to here, if you have an arc from here to here, this is an element of R1 R2. And similarly, you have an arc from here to here, an arc from here to here. So, this is an element of R1 R2. Okay. That is, let us see the definition once again. Let R1 be a relation from A to B and R2 be a relation from B to C. The composite relation A to C denoted by R1 dot R2 or R1 R2 is defined like this. There it represents ordered pairs AC such that A belongs to A and C belongs to C, and there exists B in B such that AB will belong to R1 and BC will belong to R2. This is not defined if B is, see, if it is from A to B and R2 is from something else to something else, and the codomain of R1 should be the same as the domain of R2. If they are different, it is not defined, well defined. So, with composition of relation, we have several theorems. We shall see what they are. Let R1 be a relation from A to B and R2 and R3 are relations from B to C. R4 is a relation from C to D. Then you have the following results. R1 into R2 union R3 is equal to R1 R2 union R2 R3. R1 combined with composition with R2 intersection R3 is contained in R1 R2 intersection R1 R3 and the other results. R2 union R3 into R4 gives you R2 R4 and R3 R4 union, and R2 intersection R3 combined with R4 is contained in R2 R4 intersection R3 R4. Let us take the first result and prove. The others can be proved in a similar manner. The first one is R1 R2 union R3 is equal to R1 R2 union R1 R3. How do you prove that? What do you mean by some element xy, or let me take it as AB, or rather AC. AC belongs to R1 R2 union R3. Take an ordered pair AC belonging to R1 R2 union R3. This is equivalent to saying there exists, it is equivalent to say A belongs to A, C belongs to C, and there exists B such that AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 union R3, and of course B belongs to B. There exists a B, B belongs to B, and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R1 union R3. Now, this is equivalent to saying A belongs to A, C belongs to C and there exists B, B belongs to B and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 union R3, you can write like this. BC belongs to R2 or BC belongs to R3. This means A belongs to A, C belongs to C and there exists B, B belongs to B and distributes over R. So, you can write this as AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 or AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R3. And that is equal to saying A belongs to A, C belongs to A, C, etc. and there exists B, B belongs to B and this one means AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2. So, if you bring it in, there exists B, B belongs to B and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 or there exists B, okay, I will put like this, or there exists B, B belongs to B and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R3, which would mean there exists A or A belongs to A, B belongs to C belongs to C and there exists B such that B belongs to B, and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 or there exists B, B belongs to B and AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R3. So, this one you can say, and this is equal to saying A belongs to A and that condition is always there, C belongs to C and there exists B, B belongs to B and so AB belongs to R1 and so on. That would mean AC belongs to R1 R2 or AC belongs to R1 R3. That is equivalent to saying AC belongs to R1 R2 union R1 R3. So, AC belongs to R1 into R2 union R3 is equivalent to saying AC belongs to R1 R2 union R1 R3. So, the equivalence can be proved. The other three results can be proved in a similar manner. The relation, composition of relation is associative, that is R1 R2 R3 is equal to R1 into R2 R3. Let R1 and R2 and R3 be relations from A to B, B to C and C to D, then R1 R2 combined with R3 is equal to R1 combined with R2 R3. You can figuratively write like this. Say suppose I have A, B, C, D. R1 is a relation from A to B, R2 is a relation from B to C, R3 is a relation from C to D. So, let us denote by some ordered pairs like this. R1 may have some ordered pairs like this, R2 may have something like this, R3 may have something like this. Now, what does R1 R2 represent? R1 R2 will be, if there is an arc from here to here and here to here, R1 R2 will have an arc like this. There is from here to here and here to here. So, R1 R2 will have an arc like this. From here to here and here to here you have. So, R1 will also have this R1 R2 and R1 has this, R2 has this. So, R1 R will have something like this and this is in R1, this is in R2. So, R1 R2 will have an arc like this. What about R2 R3? If you have from here to here and here to here, R2 will have something like this. R2 R3, R2 R3 will have an arc like this. It will also have an arc like this. Now, R1 R2 has 1, 2, 3, 4 arcs, 5 arcs. R3 has 2 arcs like this. If you try to combine, there is an arc from here to here and if you combine with this, you will get an arc from here. This is an ordered pair belonging to R1 R2 into R3 and similarly you have an arc from here to here. So, combining with this an element from R3, you have an arc, an ordered pair belonging to R1 R2 combining with R3. Now, suppose take R1 and R2 R3. What are the elements in R2 R3? R2 R3 has only 2 arcs, one this and one this, and R1 has there is one arc from A to this, and let us go back. R1 R2 also has an arc from here to here and from here R3 has from here to here. So, there will be one arc from here to here in R1 R2 into R3, because R1 R2 has this arc and then R3 has this. Now, look at R2 R3, it has got only 2 arcs, one this and this. Okay. R1 has this arc, this arc, this arc. Now, if there is an arc like this and a blue arc representing R2 R3, you see that this is there in R1, R2, R3. Similarly, if you have a blue arc like this in R2, R3, one arc from R1 to R2 like this, you have an arc like this in R1 into R2, R3. Similarly, there is a blue arc here and there is an arc in R1. So, you have an element R1, R2, R3. So, either way you take, they are equivalent. So, composition of relation is associative. We can also write like this. What do you mean by saying that AD belongs to R1, R2 into R3? That is equivalent to saying there exists C such that AC belongs to R1, R2 and the C belongs to C, R1, R2 and let us not write this belonging to, that you can always consider. There exists C such that AC belongs to R1, R2 and CD belongs to R3. Now, expanding this is equivalent to saying there exists C, and this one you can write as there exists B belongs to B of course, AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2, and here you have CD, this is one part, CD belongs to R3. Now, note that B does not occur here. So, you can take there exists B outside, the quantifier can be taken outside because it does not occur here. So, you can write it as there exists C, there exists B, AB belongs to R1 and BC belongs to R2 and CD belongs to R3. Now, the order you can always interchange, there exists x, there exists y, you can change for all x, for all y you can interchange. This we have earlier seen, but we cannot change if you have one for all x and there exists, the meaning will differ, but here both are there exists. So, I can keep there exists B here and take C inside, there exists C, BC belongs to R2 and CD belongs to R3. And that is equivalent to saying there exists B, AB belongs to R1 and because BC belongs to R2 and CD belongs to R3 would mean BD belongs to R2, R3, and this is equivalent to saying AD belongs to R1, R2, R3. So, if a pair AD belongs to R1, R2 into R3, it also belongs to R1 into R2, R3 and vice versa. If it belongs to this, it will belong to that. So, the composition of relation is an associative operation. Now, because of this associative property, what can you say about R squared or something like that, when R is a relation on A cross A? Both the domain and the codomain are same. So, R is a binary relation on A cross A, then what can you say about how do you define R squared, R cubed, etc. Let R be a binary relation on a set A and let n belonging to n. N is a natural number or a non-negative integer. Then the nth power of R denoted by R power n is defined as follows. R0 is the relation of equality on the set A. R0 is x belongs to A. R power n plus 1 is equal to R power n into R. So, it is like this. You can talk about R power 0, that is the equality relation, x belongs to A. R power 1 is just R. This is defined on A cross A. What can you say about R squared? R squared will be defined as R into R. Because of the associativity, without any problem we can write that. Similarly, R cubed is R squared into R. Without any problem we can write it R. Because of either you can put the bracket this way or this way, does not matter. So, without ambiguity you can write it as R cubed. And proceeding like this, R power n is R into R into R n times, that is R power n minus 1 into R. R power n plus 1 of course is R power n into R. This is the way you define the composition of relation or the power of a relation. Let me take one or two examples to see what do you mean by this. Take this example. Let the relation be defined on 3 elements A, B, C, and you have this relation. This is R. What is R0? R0 is the equality relation on A. So, it will be represented by self loops like this. R0 is represented by this graph. R power 1 is just R and it is represented like this. What can you say about R squared? A, B, C. Now, if there is a path of length 2, this one, that will be replaced by a single line in R2. So, there is A to B and B to C and that will be combined as A to C. There is an arc from B to C and then C to A. So, there will be an arc from B to A and there is an arc from C to A and A to B. So, there will be an arc from C to B. So, R squared in this case is represented by this one. Now, what can you say about R cubed? R cubed is R squared into R. In R squared you have A to C, in R you have C to A. So, combining that you will have a self loop at node A, this maybe I will write it better. Similarly, there is an arc from B to A in R squared and A to B in R. So, there will be a self loop at B in R cubed, or you can look at it in another way. If there is a path of length 3, that will be replaced by a single arc. Here there is a path of length 3 from A to A. So, that is replaced by a single arc which is a self loop. Similarly, there is a path of length 3 at this node. So, that will be replaced by this self loop at B, and similarly you have a path of length 3 from C to C in R. So, that will be replaced by a single arc, that is a self loop at 3. Now, what can you say about R power 4? R power 4 will be R cubed into R, A, B, C, that is R cubed has a self loop. Along with this it will make an arc like this. R cubed have a self loop at B, along with this arc there will be an arc like this. R cubed has a self loop at C, and that along with this arc will be like this. So, you find that R is equal to R power 4, and you can also see that R 0 is equal to R cubed, that is the equality relation, self loops at every node. R 1 is equal to R 4, and R squared will be R into R, that is equal to R power 4 into R. So, R squared is R power 5. R power 6 again will be equal to this, R power 7 will be equal to this, R power 8 will be equal to this, and so on. So, in this case where you have only 3 elements and the graph is like this, you see that this is a particular example. You find that this is R 0, this is R squared, this is R cubed, then R power 4 again becomes equal to R power 1, that is R, and so on. We have this very simple relation. This is very easy. This can be proved by induction in a very easy manner. Let R be a binary relation on A, and let M and N be elements of N. Power M into R power N is equal to R power M plus N. R power M times R power N is R power Mn. This also you can see very easily. You can use induction to prove that if D is a digraph of a binary relation, then xy belongs to R power n if and only if there exists a path of length n from node x to node y. Okay. So, if you have something, if there is a path of length, it is not a single arc, a path of length n from x to y, this will be in R power n, and from y to z say there is a path of length m, and this will belong to R power m. So, in R power n into R power m, you have to combine this, and there will be a path from x to z of length n plus m. You can see that this path is of length n, this path is of length m. So, there is a path of length n plus m to this, that means that path belongs to R power n plus m. So, R power n plus m. In a theoretical manner, you can use induction and say that R power n into R power 0 is R power n, R power n into R is R power n plus 1, and so on. So, R power m into n is equal to R power mn. How do you prove that? So, in R power m, you have a path from x to y of length m. Now, R power m into n is R power m into R power m into R power m, like that n times. That is, it is equal to R power m plus m plus m like that n times, that is r power n m. Or you have n paths of length m like that and so on. So, in essence it amounts to say similar like in an ordinary integer you have a power m into a power n is equal to a power m plus n, and a power m into n is equal to, if a is an integer say, this will hold, or if a is any real number for that matter, m and n are integers, then you have these results. A similar result holds for the power of r also. You have this. Now, we have seen that r power m into n is r power m n, r power n m or m n, that is the same. And we can also see that if x y is a pair which belongs to R n, if and only if there is a path of length n from a node x to a node y. We can consider some more example of how to represent the composition of relations and the power of a particular relation R, and what other properties it has.